So we're anticipating a fairly short meeting, revisiting what we have talked about in the past couple months, addressing what's up and coming for the PAYS, but we shouldn't probably take up your entire hour. So say hi in the chat and we'll give everybody a few minutes to join.
Thanks, Elise. I was having some issues, but I figured them out.
That's good. I like it. We all need to figure our issues out.
Yeah, right. Good luck. So those of you who are just joining, go ahead and throw your name and organization in the chat for us so we can get to know who all is here. I'm seeing school districts, like Elise said. Everyone should be right in the throes of the PAYS administration for this year, so we're very excited to be here for a short period of time today as we try to give you some information, but we will also leave some space at the end to answer questions.
And we really, if you have any questions, we really hope that we can provide you some answers, or we will make sure that we get you the answers if we don't have them available readily. But I do see a lot of school districts and community organizations that hopefully things are going smoothly, and we like that feedback too. So if you have questions and concerns, we want to hear it, but also if things are going great and swimmingly, tell us that too. We like to hear that.
All right, well, I have straight up one, so we're going to go ahead and get started. As usual, we ask that you've introduced yourself in the chat, and we also want you to participate in this webinar. So again, I can't stress enough, we want you to ask questions, use the Q&A option to do so. Don't think we have any polls today, but please answer, or please ask any questions you might have in the Q&A box, and Phyllis is going to be all over that, watching to see that we address those questions. Just so everybody knows, we do record these webinars and they are going to be available. So if your peers aren't available and there's something they should hear, please share that information with them. But also we do record this, so if that's an issue for you, now's the time to know. So we've got our first Wednesday webinar team on here. Me, Elise, and Phyllis are in the building today. But our special guests are Dr. Katie Poplar and Jordan Joyce. So we're going to start with Jordan Joyce today, and she is going to share some information about the Prevention Learning Portal. So I will stop sharing so you can have access, Jordan.
Thanks, Lee.
Yeah.
I am sending the request so that I can share my screen.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, you should be able to see my PowerPoint.
Yep, we're good.
Great. Click. There we go. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Jordan Joyce, Program Manager for the Prevention Learning Portal. I do typically join into these meetings each month, and every so often I get to feature a lot of the updates with the Prevention Learning Portal. So I'm super excited that I get to do that today. We are constantly growing and expanding on what we have. And so I tried my best to figure out what I thought was the most important to highlight with you all today. So my plan is to just breeze through some of these slides. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. You can reach out to me by email. I'm always available to talk through any of this information and hear how your experience is going with the PLP. So if any of you are new to this group, it's important to know what the PLP is. So the Prevention Learning Portal, it's a free online platform available to anyone and everyone. Our main goal is to build free online training courses for all of the systems that are represented here in the state of Pennsylvania: education, child welfare, juvenile justice, mental health, etc. We also offer a full e-library that includes just a comprehensive listing of tools and resources, and we're constantly adding to this list each month. We also host a news and events page. So anytime that we're aware of a conference, workshop, anything that might be relevant to your work in the prevention field, we display it on our news and events page. And we also feature all of this information through our newsletters and our social media platforms. So this next slide that I pulled together is featuring a lot of information, but I really just wanted it to be available to you all so that you can pick and choose, what's important and what's relevant to you. So this is our listing right now of all of our courses. Again, they're all free. Every single one of our courses, they qualify for Act 48 credits, and many of them also qualify for social work CEUs. You'll see that I have them in different categories now. So you'll see defining prevention on the left-hand side, prevention and action, project management. On the right-hand side, our courses are grouped into special topics, data and impact. All of the course titles that you see here in bold, those are currently available to you. And then the ones that are not in bold, that say coming soon, those are obviously all the ones that are in development, and we are working really hard to get them out to all of you as soon as we possibly can. Next to each of the courses, if you see that little orange coral asterisk, that means that they are available for the social work CEUs, or just extremely important bits of information that you yourself might be interested in. And you can also pass this along to anyone else that might be interested in jumping into the PLP and taking any of these courses and getting course credit for it. Let's see. So in the next week or two, we will be launching our first course in the Spanish language. And so that would be engaging the stakeholders in your community. It's currently available in English. We're translating it into Spanish, and we're going to spend the next year doing the same for a lot of other courses that we have featured here today. What I wanted to share with you all from our e-library is that we are starting to work much more closely with the Department of Education, not only to just communicate out, what the PLP is through flyers and different sorts of information, but we're also asking for, what else is relevant to the field of education that we can place up here in our e-library that everyone can have access to. And so these are our 3 newest resources that PDE has sent along to us, that they all apply to Pennsylvania educators. And so if you jump into our e-library, you can visit any of these websites, and we have all sorts of other resources and tools for educators. And just my last slide that I have here is just a reminder that in order to access our courses, we ask that you start up an account with us. And we do that for all sorts of reasons. Number one, we really want to know who our learners are. We want to know if they're from the field of education or child welfare. We want to know which courses they're taking, which ones you're interested in, and also where are our gaps of information that we can start including more of. And so just if you take a few of these steps when you leave here today, signing up an account with us, you get free access to all of our courses. You also start receiving all of our newsletters. So when we have new courses that are about to launch, you are the first ones that we share that with. And of course, all of our new resources, we keep you updated with everything that is happening. And then the only thing I did not mention is that when you start up an account, if you are interested in receiving Act 48 or social work CEUs, that's how you communicate that to us, is through your profile. And then we can really connect all of the courses that you're completing and the hours that you're earning. We can then send those along to the credentialing body that's responsible for that here in our state. So those are my really quick updates, overview of what's happening with the PLP. Again, I invite you all to join into what we're doing, share the information out with your colleagues, and I'll stick around for questions, of course, but I'll kick things back over to Lee.
Thanks,
Perfect. I'm going
Jordan.
to interject here real quickly, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And I know that the last Wednesday webinar, we had talked about providing you the links to promote the PLP on your website or in your newsletters. Those went out with the MailChimp. I will make sure to coordinate with Jordan to get those to you again. If you have, if you're running a school district website, or if you have a newsletter that you would like to share that, it really is a valuable resource to get the Act 48 credits that are easy, approachable, and increase your knowledge. I've done lots of Act 48 and they've gone without incident every month. They get credited. So it is definitely something that is easy. The tools are there. If you want to promote it, you don't need to create anything. We have the wording, the links, and the images. So I'll make sure that everybody in the first Wednesday webinar registration that is registered for the first Wednesday webinar will get that information.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you, Jordan. And also Elise and Phyllis shared the link in the chat. So if you want to access the PLP in that way, feel free to do so. Just click on that link and it'll take you there to get you set up on what you need to get set up. So thank you again. And now to talk about everything PAYS, we're going to kick it over to Dr. Katie Poplar. So Katie, it's all yours.
Lovely. Let me share my screen. Oh, there we go. It's the giant green button. My bad.
It's those wonderful updates that we talked about, right?
Okay. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Lovely. So I'm just going to give some kind of mid-administration and then looking forward updates for the PAYS. So first I'll start with registration. We're seeing great registration numbers and actually exceeding our 2023 numbers, which is really exciting. So we're up to 471 PAYS opt-ins in 406 districts. Compared to our last administration, we only had 469 LEAs in 402 districts. So not like super outstanding, exceeding that number, but still exciting that we are outperforming 2023. And we're seeing great engagement so far, which I'll get into in just a moment. As many of you know, we are administering our 4th grade PAYS Junior survey this year. So we have 159 opt-ins in 139 districts. So I have both a registration tracker that you'll see is hyperlinked. Obviously, you guys can't click on it right now. A registration tracker and a participation tracker that I will drop in the chat immediately following sharing my screen. So you guys will be able to hop in and kind of investigate if you're wondering whether or not your district is registered. For our participation, 312 of those districts and charter schools have already begun participating, 116 of those being PAYS Junior. We have over almost 16,000 4th graders participating, almost 42,000 6th graders, 44,000 8th graders, 36,000 10th graders, and 30,000 12th graders. So we're seeing great participation so far. Again, I'll drop a link to this tracker so that you can see whether or not your school has begun participation, and then that survey window as well, if anyone is curious. So I'll drop a link to that as well. But so far, we have, gosh, like a month and a half left of administration, and our numbers are looking great. So I wanted to introduce, I don't believe I've introduced this before, but we are administering a survey coordinator feedback form this administration. So this contains 19 unique questions. We talk about things like preparedness, so asking whether or not it was your first time administering, whether or not the materials you received helped you prepare, did you feel prepared? We ask about communication satisfaction, so how folks in your district are communicating, how myself and Emma are communicating, and then any unique data use scenarios. So do you plan on using the data that becomes available to you? How do you plan on using it? Etc. So it's about 19 questions. It's pretty fast. There is some skip logic in there where it's like if you have done or have not done something, we'll ask you a little bit more, but it should only take like 5 minutes to complete. So we've already seen some pretty great response rates. I know some of you are survey coordinators. So once you close all of your links for your schools, you'll automatically get a link to this and can provide information. This just helps both people in Pennsylvania, so folks like Elise, Phyllis, identify effective ways to provide support at a local level, but also for myself and Emma, who I didn't introduce. We have Emma Ainsley here as well. But she is our project coordinator at Bach Harrison. So it just helps us understand how we can support you better in future administrations. That being said, if you have any questions or feedback in the meantime, you are always free to email me. But that form will be coming to you if you are a survey coordinator.
And Katie, there's a quick question just to interrupt because it fits here. Deb had asked if it's possible to know. We do ask if the school does active or passive consent, correct?
We should, yeah.
Yeah. And Deb, I think
I'll
that,
double check right after
yeah,
this.
and I think Deb, in general, we've always, and Phyllis probably has a more accurate number in her head, but I believe that it's usually over 90% of the schools do passive consent, which means the letter goes out and parents then need to say they don't want their child to take the survey. I will give you one example that we are facing right now that it's in one of the school districts. Their school board 2 years ago voted that all surveys need to be active consent across the board. So even the Department of Education, the Safe Schools survey, the PAYS survey, any surveying in the school requires active consent. That school has participated in the PAYS since at least 2000, probably prior to that, but they are not participating this year because they had to do active consent and they only received 12% responses from parents to engage students with the survey. So Phyllis, do you have more accurate numbers on that?
I don't have specific numbers, but it's less than 1% of
Okay.
all. I mean, it is so, it's, no one does it. Yeah, or as far as active consent goes. I mean, everybody does passive consent. But what we do find though, is those districts who have that hiccup of, oh, we better do it. They'll do it one time and then shift back. Traditionally, no guarantee of that, but I think for the most part, it happens so infrequently. We do try to provide support for districts to help them make sure they have some good processes in place of making sure that active consent is managed well and that kind of thing. But I think, Katie, the question is around, do we know which districts are in or out, and is that posted somewhere? So when you check into it, if you just sort of can see, I know there was one kind of link somewhere, but
Yeah, I should have been clear. I don't know that it might be in the survey, but we do track that when people register. So we do have detailed records of like every district who opts into the survey.
Yeah.
So I should have been clear. We do have that information. It just might not be a self-report in the survey coordinator feedback form. As far as where it's posted, I will have to look into that. But we do have that information and can provide, if people have questions at the district level, you can reach out to me.
And I was going to say too, if there's like questions in that space, if you're getting here, you know, you have a new school board, something, we're here to help you.
Yeah,
Katie,
we have a
really,
ton of resources for consent.
ton of resources
Yeah.
that, you know, if you're hearing, you know, open up that conversation. You know, we've all in varying capacities been in touch with districts who are thinking about it and then realize, man, this is too hard. We're not doing it, you know, kind of thing. So, but we're here to help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Okay.
Sorry, I interrupted your flow.
No, not at all. Okay. I'm going to hop into preliminary highlights reports because I'm assuming that folks here are curious, and we're just starting to kind of prepare those internally. So for those of you who may not know, oh, okay, the subheading is just wrong. This is for preliminary highlights reports. For those of you who may not know, we prepare our like a automated report that comes from the surveying platform. So we survey using a program called Alchemer. Alchemer can create reports based on kind of raw data. So when we administer a survey, we can generate a report and then we format it to include a subset of questions with additional context so that folks who receive the preliminary highlights report are able to kind of dive into the data. It's going to be unweighted. It might change in other reports, but it's just kind of a high level overview of preliminary data. We are introducing a PAYS Junior report. We have never sent the type of formatted report that I'm talking about. I know when we piloted, we sent some version of some kind of high level data. But we are working on formatting these reports to be sent out in December, January. We will have more specific dates coming soon. But I just wanted that to be on everyone's radar. If you have questions about reports or reporting deadlines, what you can expect, whether or not you expect to get one, you can absolutely reach out. Again, my email is right here. I'll also provide my email in the chat as well as Emma Ainsley, our project coordinator's email, so that if you have any questions, you can pass those along. And then the final update that I wanted to provide is for our user experience survey, just because I know a lot of folks here probably got upwards of 3 emails from me asking you to take this survey. So I just want to provide a little bit more context for that here.
But wait, Katie, I hope they all took it. Everybody took it. You didn't have to do the second and third, right? Everybody took it.
Yeah. You should have only received 3 if my programming is right, if you didn't take it. So that's on you. I'm just kidding. So our user experience survey is designed just to help us understand how people that are interacting with PAYS data are using it. We measure things like accessibility and value, data use scenarios. We ask about suggestions or recommendations that you might have. So this survey was launched, gosh, I think a month or 2 ago, maybe a month ago, and it closes end of day today. So you do still have time until like 5 Mountain Time if you are interested in taking it. Again, our goal is just to understand how people are interacting with these tools so that we can make them more useful and valuable for you. As you guys know, there's not going to be a ton of value to tools if no one's using them. And I can think they're great, but we really value what actual data users believe. So if you do have time and you haven't taken the survey and want to include that, please feel free. If you did not receive a link and you would like to receive a link, you can also reach out to me, and I'm happy to provide that for you as well. Okay, so looking at next steps, since we are still in administration until the end of December, Emma has done a great job of kind of providing ongoing support to survey coordinators. We're doing a lot of monitoring and control to make sure that things are running smoothly, that you're not going past a survey window without administering the survey, or if we see anything kind of fishy with the data, just prompting those conversations and providing support where we can. As I mentioned, we're preparing our preliminary reports and we are also analyzing those user experience survey results. So we're excited to see what everyone has to say and provide some of that information soon. I will hop off of this and I will add the links to both the public registration and participation tracker as well as mine and Emma's email.
And then before we get into that, do we want to address Diane's question?
Yes,
Elise,
yes.
do you
I was
want to
just
go
gonna
ahead?
say.
Go ahead. You guys ask it.
Diana, I will say there is still plenty of time.
There is.
So,
Which school district, Diana, do you are you working with? Can you unmute yourself?
And for those of you who didn't see it in the chat, she's asking if she can get registered to take the PAYS. She's a new coordinator.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, sorry about that. Thank you.
You're okay.
Delaware Valley School District. We used to participate for years and years, and we haven't in the last 2 cycles. And now we're allowed to, but with active consent. So,
Okay.
so it's a big task, obviously, but I feel very passionate that we need to do it. So I'm just trying to. We just got the okay last month at the board meeting. So I'm just want to make sure that I do everything.
Emma and Katie both have put their email address, and they are going to be your valuable resource right now to connect you with resources, with support information, with what's happening. Also, Phyllis, myself, we can come out, we can have Zoom, we can have conversations with the school if you need any additional support. But if you email Katie and Emma and let them know your school district that you need to register, and they will help walk you through that, since you are, here at the end where you haven't received all of the information.
Thank you so much.
And Diana also, because you work with Rob.
Yes. Yep.
The night of the school board meeting, he texted me and said, "Phyllis, we got Delaware." So,
oh my gosh, I was so
like,
thankful. I was so thankful for his help and his partner Shannon. That was really
absolutely,
because I've been trying, since we haven't been doing it anymore. So I've been still trying. So
well, y'all did a great job, and I will say, he is there to help you as well. So please know you can reach out to him. I will let him know that we had this conversation. And the main thing is just go ahead and get registered. And the registration link, we'll make sure we.
No, she can just email Emma and Katie.
Okay.
So she'll need her individual link and her,
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. So, okay. So thanks for doing all that, Diana. Great job.
Thank you.
Was there anything else in the chat we needed to address, Elise, before we move on?
Not that I saw. I think we have addressed everything that was.
So Katie put those links into, you put the links in for the registration tracker and also the participation tracker. Okay. Anything else from you, Katie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Has any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. So thanks for all that information. And I'm clicking on the participation tracker as we speak, so I can sort of like navigate that, and I'm sure everyone is as well, because that was one of my big questions for the group was, as I, help with these calls, I also work for an SCA, and it's important for me that all 6 school districts in my county participate, and they've all registered, but have they participated yet? So that's always something that I'm wildly interested in, so I can make sure if I need to send out an email or follow up, as I'm sure some of my other SCA colleagues are thinking as well. But also it's important to check your own district just to make sure everything looks good. Now, I did have another question that came up when you were talking. And maybe I'm looking too far into it, but this idea, Katie, of like closing the link, what does that look like from a district? Because you said that once they close the link, everything will be, I'm assuming that's when they show up on here as participated.
Emma, will you provide that context, please?
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Their participation will show up as soon as we have survey participation submissions. It does take about 24 hours. So if somebody took the survey or administered the survey today and then logged into their planning portal, they would see no participation from today like logged, but if they log in tomorrow and look, they should see their participation. If you log into the planning portal and don't see participation, but you administered the survey, please reach out to us, as sometimes it happens that the wrong link was used, and we'll have to look at that on case-by-case basis. Once they are finished surveying and they click close the link, that is when we go in and disable that link. So no other survey submissions can be done on that specific link. If for whatever reason you need to, just reach out to one of us and we can go ahead and open it.
Okay, perfect. And then I'm just looking at this for my county, so I have a couple other questions if you don't mind. So if there is a elementary school on the list and there was only one district that is participating in the 4th grade survey, so there's a check mark beside the ones that are completed. I know they're completed because I was there. So if the other elementary schools are on there, it's just because they could have potentially participated and their district had registered them for the senior.
So all of the 4th grade, any school that has 4th grade will be listed on that participation tracker, even if they aren't registered for PAYS Junior.
Gotcha.
And so typically they just go in and close those links. But there's
Okay.
theoretically no link to close because they're not registered for PAYS Junior.
Okay.
So if you're a PAYS only school, just look at your middle school, high schools, or anyone that has 6th, 8th, 10th, and 12th.
Perfect. That makes sense. And then, like I had said, just alluded to, I was there for 2 of the elementary school buildings in our county to participate in the PAYS Junior, and it was so smooth. Everything went really well. I was only there as a support because this was new for elementary schools who've never participated, and I just wanted to be there kind of to see it in action. And the students wrapped up in like 20 to 25 minutes. So I just wanted to share that with the group. So if anyone, I know we're 2 years out, but as Phyllis said, it might not be is it too late to participate in the 4th grade this year?
No.
No. So if you decide you want to do the 4th grade for your district, it wouldn't be a heavy lift, and it's not a heavy lift for the students. It took about 25 minutes. So, so it was really, really great.
And Deb, did you see that Katie did check, and 5 of the 471 registered schools do active consent, so less than 1% do active consent.
And
So
that
Phyllis was
number
right.
is historically accurate as well.
So what other questions? Any questions from the other panelists or anything else from the group as a whole?
I will try to make sure when the MailChimp comes out with the recording next week that you have links to, it may look like a different MailChimp. It may not have as many words. It may have just the recording, and then here are some valuable links, and here are some email addresses, because I know that if people who weren't able to participate in the meeting, just watching the recording to get to this is a challenge. So I want to make sure that everybody has the participation view, so SCAs and school districts can check in on that. I think that, Lee, like you had said, that was, and I know you had missed last month, we did touch on this, but I think right now it's definitely more valuable to go in and make sure that that the schools are actually doing their survey at their survey window. And if they're not, why not? It's good for us to be able to reach out.
Great. Thanks for that, Elise. So if nobody else has anything for the group, I will just share that our next First Wednesday webinar will be December 3rd, 1 o'clock. And we will be talking about the preliminary reports. So we're excited to have that information shared next go round. So we'll see you in December. And then just as a friendly reminder, we will not have a webinar in January. So no need to mark your calendars for January, but we will be back at it in February. So see you in December, break in January, and then back in February. So as always, like us on Facebook. Here's a link to EPIS's Facebook page, or I'm sorry, website. And then also, if you want to submit the PAYS questions, Elise is going to send out the link for the survey for today's webinar. And that's it. That's all we've got for today. So thank you so much for everybody for being here. And thanks for our panelists, of course, as always. And if you need anything or have any questions, you have everyone's contact information, so reach out.
Reach out. We are definitely here to support. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a great rest of your day.